Hey everyone, I'm Cary Smith and I'm sitting here with Cheri Turner.
Hi, everyone.
And we're both with Client First Capital. And Cheri, we have a really good topic
Yeah.
queued up for us today. The title is Widowed and Overwhelmed, Your First Financial Steps That You Should Take After a Loss.
Yeah.
And, this is an important topic and it's such a emotional time
It
and,
is.
and overwhelmed can mean a lot more than just financial decisions. There can be
Absolutely.
so much going on,
Mhm.
and so much going on emotionally, and which can make the decision making even tougher. And so I'm looking forward to our discussion today. I think it's a discussion that a lot of people need to hear.
Yeah.
And so let's jump into this.
Yeah.
I'll have you kick us off with the first of the five
Okay,
steps.
sure. So step number one is you're going to want to gather and organize your important documents. Things like you're going to need to obtain copies of the death certificate, and I would highly recommend getting at least 10 copies of this because you're going to need it for a multitude of different purposes. So you'll need the death certificate. You'll also want a copy of your marriage certificate, as well as any will or estate documents, including a trust, any power of attorneys you may have. Your financial statements, you want to gather those together as well, as well as your Social Security and Medicare statements. In addition, you want to pull out any life insurance information that you may have and get all of those documents together and really organized so that you're prepared for your next steps.
Yeah, I think that's an important step, and it might seem obvious, but especially the tip that you had on get at least 10 copies of your death
Mm,
certificate,
yeah.
because there's just a lot of different accounts and
Hmm.
organizations that are going to need a copy of that
Hmm.
as you start to move through the estate process.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And second is just, if necessary, ensure that you have sufficient immediate cash flow. Check out your savings and checking balances, identify any income, your pension, social securities, ensure that all of those are set up and to continue. If you have pensions and things that might change at the death of a spouse, ensuring that you notify those as well as social security. Um, Ensure that you have any automatic payments or any automatic distributions coming that perhaps could have involved your spouse. Ensure that any distributions are updated as well. So if you find that cash is tight, you can contact creditors and utility companies if you need to make temporary arrangements. But in the end, I would avoid making any large financial decisions in the short term. Really take a step back and get a full picture of your full financial situation before making any big decisions. And speak with an advisor before making any withdrawals from your retirement accounts.
There's a lot of good advice out there that you'll hear. Don't make big financial decisions. And I know you might talk a little bit more about this later, but don't make big financial decisions immediately.
Mhm.
And if you feel pressured to do so, you should be very cautious from whoever's giving you that pressure, wherever that's coming
Absolutely.
from.
Right, right. And then thirdly, now you're going to want to notify Social Security, the insurance companies, which I alluded to, and then any financial institutions. You want to go to the Social Security Administration and assure that you get any survivor benefits set up. If there is a life insurance policy, you want to be sure that you contact that provider. You'll need to provide a copy of the death certificate and get that process going. If necessary, if your spouse was still working, you'll obviously want to notify their employer, and then any banks and credit card companies, as well as your investment and retirement type accounts.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. And then one thing that I would suggest in these times of follow up when you're talking with these different organizations, I would highly recommend keeping a log of all of your conversations with the names, the dates, the individuals you spoke with, and then any pertinent reference numbers so that you have that to come back to as you proceed forward.
Yeah, I love that advice, Cherie. It sometimes these conversations take several phone calls and several
Hmm.
follow-ups, and
Yes.
it doesn't take very many of these calls before you forget who you spoke to about what.
Right.
And so just the fact of keeping a log or a ledger of your phone calls and your
Mhm.
conversations and who you talk to and when you talk to them will just help you keep things straight. But also, if you have to follow up and things of that nature, you should see the necessary actions, take place sooner.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then fourth, you're going to want to update your wills, trusts, and beneficiaries on the accounts. So as far as what needs updating, any IRAs, 401ks, and the life insurance, if you have beneficiary designations there that perhaps included that spouse, then you would need to differentiate who that new beneficiary was going to be. You'd want to revise any power of attorney or healthcare proxies if that spouse was listed as that individual. And then now you'll want to update your own will and trust and or estate plan. So you want the trust accounts changed into your name. The trust will stay the same itself, but you want the accounts updated so that they reflect your social security number and things like that. The reason this is crucial is that if your spouse was listed as beneficiary on the retirement accounts or insurance policies, bank accounts, you really need to have those updated, or it's undetermined what's going to happen with those, or it's going to be divided amongst the remainder of the individuals if that individual's gone, which takes the opportunity away from you of being able to determine exactly how you want that to be done.
Yeah, and even though that's the fourth step in our process, I would say it's pretty important to get that done soon. And so the need to have the right beneficiaries in place is important. There's a lot of tax advantages and other things that depend on that. And so I think that's even though it's number 4 on our list, I would say it's pretty important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then step 5 is just to attempt to avoid the common financial mistakes that are made. As you alluded to, we were going to come back to a little bit, is don't rush into big decisions. As far as selling the house, giving away large assets, things like that, unless it's something that was part of your financial plan previously and you're just following that plan, don't make the decision to do those big movements shortly after the occurrence, but really give yourself time on that. Another is to really be extremely wary of financial scams. They are widespread, as we all know, but they are especially out there on widows. And unfortunately, if you're not very cautious and cognizant, then you can get taken advantage of.
Yeah, so Cheri, we see this happen, right? And the thing is, they're so good at it, right? And because they're so good is the reason that they're successful at scamming people. I would say if you have a financial advisor, financial planner, any of these things that come your way, just call them first.
Yes.
Just call and talk to your trusted advisor and have a conversation with them. They'll help you, kind of decipher, is this real, or is this something I need to be afraid of? But it's just so prevalent out there, and they're very skilled at what they do. A lot of caution in this area.
Yes, absolutely. And then lastly, and this probably isn't lastly, it probably should have been firstly, but a very big one, take care of yourself, and whether that means leaning on friends and family and your financial advisor to help you and walk you through it. But just be sure to take care of yourself and lean on those resources that can help you really be your strongest through the process.
Yeah, that's really good advice, Cheri. So, so I think we've discussed some of the things that can be overwhelming and some of the steps that a person should take when they find themselves in this situation. I would also add that hopefully their financial advisor is someone who's focused on the family,
right,
and is being proactive in helping them prepare for these issues and walk through these issues. And so having that trusted advisor can help during these processes as well.
Yes.
So, hey, if you found value in this video, give us a like. But also, if you want access to more content like this, more videos, or to sign up for our monthly newsletter, you can find us at clientfirstcap.com. And there you can sign up for a newsletter, get access to the videos. If you feel like you need to talk to someone, you can schedule an appointment or give us a call. But I appreciate you tuning in. Cheri, good job. Thanks for this topic.
Thanks, Cary.